Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kate, that's Jimbo from
Kate and Jimbo.
And we've been asked by Chris to do a video of the 5 takeaways from the Spurs versus Reading pre-season match that happened on Saturday. So let's look into it now. First of all, the first takeaway, I think, from the game is that Thomas Frank is a proactive coach, something we were very critical about Ange Postecoglou, the in-game management, the rigidness of his system. Thomas Frank showed that he's completely open to changing it up, even to the point of bringing his tactical board onto the pitch for the second half. I mean, Jimbo, how refreshing was that to see a coach behaving like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Ange because he won us a European trophy, which is there behind me. So I love Ange for what he done for us. But it's chalk and cheese, Kate. He was there. They were there as a group talking about the game, looking at the screen, making notes at half time. He had the whole group around and was talking to them, showing them what he wanted. He's a proper coach, Frank. You know, and I think that a lot of Spurs fans are going to be surprised this season that what he's going to bring out of some of these players that a lot of the Spurs fans think ain't good enough for Tottenham. So I think we're going to see some big stuff from some of the players.
Yeah, and I think I did mention it the other day. I think Frank played 9 different formations when he was managing Brentford last season, which
you schooled me on that, didn't you?
Which is huge when you think and. The main criticism with him was that his gung-ho football, and yes, it did win us a European trophy, but in the Premier League with all the different oppositions that we're facing, we need to be able to adapt to that situation. Yeah. And I think we've got that with Thomas Frank.
100%. Yeah, I think we've got a lot to look forward to with that this season.
Number 2, Mohamed Kudus is a baller. I mean, Jimbo, you give me, first of all, your thoughts on this guy.
He puts a smile on my face. Whenever someone says his name, I smile because he's what we haven't had for years and years and years. When was the last time Aaron Lennon, was it?
Yeah, maybe somewhere. Gareth Bale as well.
Gareth Bale, yeah. He gets me off the seat. You know, I think he's what we've been craving for years. And I think that him and Spencer can have a good understanding down that side. Yeah, he puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, and I think as well, you've got that element of, what's he going to do next? But it was his debut. He got a pre-assist and an assist, and he looked lively from the second he came on to the end of the match. So I think we've got ourselves a brilliant little player there. And I think at 55 million, it could be a bit of a steal. But that kind of brings me on to point number 3. Whereas when you look at the how good Kudus is and what he offers, it kind of exposes how weak now the left side is. You've got Sonny, who, God bless him, he's a legend at Spurs and we all adore him, but he's coming to the end of his career. And I think his body language showed that he's not. A lot of people are saying he wasn't fit. He had pain in his lower back. But even the end of last season, I think it's time Sonny moves on. I don't know what you think, Jimbo.
Yeah, I mean, where Kudus puts a smile on my face, Sonny makes me sad because he's been, for Spurs, he's been an absolute legend. And he deserved that trophy. You know, he was the one player in the team that they deserved it more than anybody else. But I think maybe his days are numbered now, Kate. He just doesn't look happy to me. I mean, maybe he was injured, but he doesn't look happy. He got the ball caught under his foot a couple of times, didn't he? One time he went run and the ball never even went with him. And I don't like to see it. You said the other day on a stream that we was on that we do seem to run some of our Spurs players into the ground, you know, and don't let them leave. But look, if he stays, I think he's going to be a bit part role, which maybe might be all right for him, that he doesn't play too often, that he can find some energy and play better. But I think for him, it would be better if he moved on. But it's sad because I love him so much. I think all the fan base do.
Yeah, and I think we did it with Lloris, we did it with Vertonghen, where we played them too much and they weren't up to it anymore. I don't want to see Sonny go out like that. I want us to remember him lifting that trophy, and I think it's a good time for him to move on. I'm not sure we've got the left winger that steps in and equals. Well, I am sure that we don't have one that equals the quality of Kudus. We've got the likes of Tell, we've just signed permanently. You've got Manor Solomon. Odeberg can play there. I kind of hope we buy another left winger of equal quality to Kudus to give Solanke a fighting chance as well with top service.
Yeah, I think that with Solanke, I think that with Kudus on the right, and if we get a real top left winger in, I think that we'll see a different Solanke this season as well. So for me, 100%, we need a top left winger in. But I think Tell is going to be good for us. I think that Frank will bring him on and he'll become a good player for us in the future. He's not for now, though. He's not for now.
Yeah, I hope he does. And look, I hope whatever Sonny decides, it's what he wants to do, and that he comes back. If he does leave, he comes back in some sort of ambassador role in the not too distant future.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kate, if they keep Sonny, right? If they keep Sonny, they still need to buy another left winger. If they keep him or not.
Agreed. Number 4 kind of takes us back to Thomas Frank. I think there was a lot of controversy when Ange Postecoglou said we didn't need a set-piece coach. We saw at the weekend, Porro, great corners he was taking. Kudus, again, took a couple of great corners. But not only do we look like we're better at taking them, straight away, I think we look better defensively at defending the set pieces. I don't know what you thought, Jimbo.
Yeah, you know me. I watch all the on Sky Spurs play. I watch all the training. I watch all the training sessions. I watch them more than once, and they've been working on that, and you could see it in the game. Vast improvement. I mean, that one game against Reading, I don't think I can remember one game last season where we took corners like that.
No,
it was different gravy, and if they're going to work on it, obviously work on it hard. Brentford were great on set pieces and corners, so I'm sure he'll get us into that position. That's another thing that put a smile on my face watching them corners going. They were great corners.
Not only that, but Vicario came in for some criticism saying that he couldn't handle set pieces, that he got cluttered over in the box. And if Frank is going to continue working on set pieces, you've got to feel that the confidence of Vicario will grow while the defenders develop at defending set pieces as well. So it's going to improve everybody all round.
Yeah, of course it is. 100%. I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think there's a Spurs fan that can say that our defence last season was all over the place. And we won't have that with Frank. You could see the little tweaks in the game with Reading, one stand back, one going up. It was different. And you could see it was different. They look more confident. And I think that the more confident they are, Vicario being more confident. He's a good keeper. I want to keep him. I've seen some people say we need to change him, but not for me. I just think his catching needs a bit of training, and the ball at his feet needs some training. And we've got ourselves a top keeper.
Yeah, I agree. I do love Big Vic. And finally, without being too over the top and getting too overexcited, Vuskovic and Lancashire exciting. First of all, Vuskovic, an absolute beast, a very handsome beast as well. Came on, scored a goal, assisted a goal, did a goal line clearance. I mean, does it get any better than that, Jimbo?
You can't tell me not to get excited, Kate. that's like putting a kid in a sweet shop and saying you can't have no sweets. No, I will get excited. I thought he was brilliant. His first 4 touches, right? He done a foul, right? And then he scores a goal, saves one off the line and assists. It's like what a start. And I am excited. Of course, I'm excited. I'm not going to go over the top and say he's a world beater, but just watching that one game with him, it's like, yeah, it looks like this kid's got it. And obviously he needs to work with Frank, and we'll not get too carried away. But yeah, I'm excited about him without any doubt. And Lancashire, look.
Before we go into Lancashire, Jimbo, can I just say, obviously you're saying you want him to work with Frank. So would you keep Vuskovic, not send him on loan?
No, I would keep him. Without any shadow of a doubt, even if his game time's a bit limited, I think that he needs to be around the squad. And look, we're in the Champions League, we're in the Premiership, and we're in 2 cups, right? He's going to get game time. without any shadow of a doubt. We're going to get some injuries through the season. That's near enough a banker with Spurs. So he will get game time. And I think that it's better to keep him around the squad, keep him around this manager who's great with young players. Doesn't matter if he's 18, Kate. Doesn't matter. You know, let him work with Frank and let Frank get the best out of him.
No, I agree, but I do think he's going to have limited game time with us also bringing in that Kota Takai as well. I think maybe he needs a loan for a championship or maybe even a premiership team.
He's had 2 loans.
I know, but he's still young. I think he just needs another loan to develop more before he comes in. And I'm worried he's not going to get enough first team action. So that's just my personal opinion. Lancashire's a funny one because I said to Chris that I'm not overly bothered about Lancashire, but he watches him far more than I do and says that he thinks this guy should get a chance in the first team. I mean, what do you think, Jimbo?
Yes, I'm with Chris. I've said this to you when you and me have been talking. I think that he needs to be around the squad as well and get some game time. Look, he took that header. I know people say it's only Reading, but he can only score with who's in front of him. And he scored some great goals in the under-21s. He, for me, keep him. That's what I say.
As I said to Chris, I'm open to have my mind changed. I don't know enough about him, but it's like we said earlier on our own stream. If you don't give him a chance, how are you going to know? If Harry Kane hadn't been given that chance, maybe we'd never would have found out just how brilliant he was. So look, we've got Solanke, we've got Richarlison. Neither of them are setting the world on fire. Maybe this kid needs to be given an opportunity to prove himself. Either way, they're exciting young players without going too crazy and saying, like you say, they're world beaters or generational. We've got to be excited for the youth that's coming through and that we've brought into the team. And it'd be interesting to see what Frank does with them.
I just think, Kate, I think a footballer's career is very short, right? And these 2 guys have got talent, right? So I think, don't waste another season outside of Tottenham. Keep them in Tottenham. Give them some game time, and let's see how they do.
Yeah, please let us know in the comments below what you think of what we've said. Is there anything else you took out of the Reading and Spurs game? Also, if you want to see more of me and Jimbo, you can find us at Kate and Jimbo. It literally is as easy as that. We tried with fancy names, but everyone just goes, oh, where are you, Kate and Jim? And it was like, yeah, we're Kate and Jimbo. So listen, thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to Chris for asking us. And as always, guys, come on, you Spurs.